Well, I'm here to shift that procrastinator mentality. We need to start acting on our ideas, working on our goals and our dreams. Then think about your attempt at greatness. Assess, reevaluate your game plan and your methodology. Take it to a next and a higher level. Then follow up by living it. That's what a boss is. That's what a boss does. Jefe Talk. Jefe Talk. Jefe Talk.
Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of the Jefe Talk podcast. It is your host, Jefe Talk, also known as Jefe. I just want to give a huge shout out to everyone that made it another day, made it another week, made it another month, made it another year. I sometimes see that we don't really take a step back and just acknowledge how far we came, even if it feels like everything is moving really, really fast. So shout out to you. Shout out to my damn self. I know that's for sure, because I need it. I need it. But for my new listeners, welcome to the Jefe Talk podcast. This podcast is designed to push, motivate, and inspire. The slogan is act, think, and live, right? I came up with that slogan about 5 years ago because sometimes I started seeing in my life I was becoming too complacent, right? I was just overthinking and I wasn't moving. So I told myself I'm gonna start acting, right? Taking action. And then as I'm taking action, I'm gonna think out the process, right? I'm gonna become better at thinking on the move. And then before you know it, I was living life. So that is the slogan, act, think, live. Jefe Talk has been in business, has been popping, has been moving since 2018. I can go on and on about how I started this brand and this idea and this movement. But for the most part, it's been a blessing. It's been a blessing to be able to reach. I think I'm in over 100 countries now, over 15,000 listeners. And I'm not going to lie, I did not expect to at least reach that many people. I'm not a big major podcaster or nothing like that. I know for people who follow me on Instagram, for the most part, know I'm in a lot of different things, right? I got a full-time career. I'm an executive and I got my own startup I'm growing. I got, business development. I do life planning. I mean, I do all types of stuff, right? But I will say I'm very driven. And that's what Jefe Talk is about, right? It's about not so much of being the boss, it's about having the mentality of a boss, right? Being able to lead and show and how to execute at a high level, right? So you become the boss of your life. And I always try to tell people, it's not so much you got to have a loud, arrogant flavor about it. That's not the name of the game. The game is to have the mentality. When you have the mentality and you have the mindset, you start moving in such a way, you start attracting the right people. You attract the right network, right? So today I wanted to talk about time, right? Time. For some reason, I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's going on between my friends, between some family members, between what I see on social media. But for some reason, people think they got the time to BS, the time to do what they want, lounge around, and just have some weird energy, thinking that they're going to achieve and receive all the blessings in the world because they have the privilege of time. I'm gonna let that sit in. I want you to just take a minute and ask yourself, how many times you procrastinated, and you just woke up one day and realized, you know what? This shit ain't happening. It's just not gonna happen. And I find it very, very unfortunate for many of us, including myself at some times, that we waste so much time moving in such a manner like we have the privilege of time. And I had an epiphany about this because I'm like, yo, how arrogant is that? How arrogant to think that you have the privilege of time. And when we unpack this conversation of time, I'm talking about life. I'm talking about before shit hits the fan. I'm talking about before finances start making a couple of curveballs because just shit happens, right? I'm talking about before relationships go through its silos and its ups and downs and the health starts acting weird for some reason. You had a bad burrito one day. I don't know. A new virus comes out. I don't know. But we're moving and we're acting like we have the privilege of time. And I back to what I was reflecting on, I was like, wait a minute. How is it that for some reason I know this information, but I still find myself being complacent, right? Sometimes you find yourself knowing you got to get something done, but you keep putting it off, right? You start having that ego kicked in, that ego starts kicking in, and you start feeling like, man, I don't need to do that. I don't need to do it just right this second. You know, I'm seasoned, I'm grown. I don't need to make no schedule and do it. It's going to happen when it's going to happen. And yo, here's a favorite quote I've been hearing from people. It's going to happen on God's time. Sorry, yo. It's going to happen on God's time. All right, so let me get this straight. If you was supposed to put a business plan together, right? You was at least supposed to just put the heading in the PowerPoint. You're supposed to look up a few websites, start researching, doing some benchmarking and finding out a little bit more information in the industry. You're supposed to do all of that. And boom, God is supposed to just be like, all right, here's the business plan. Done. Here's the business, here's the customers, it's done. Listen, I'm gonna be the blunt person to tell you it does not work like that. You don't have time to sit down and procrastinate. You don't. You could be strategic with your time, but if you don't hold yourself accountable to execute the small things, execute the big things, it does not matter. If you do not take the time to plan to execute, it's not gonna happen. And by the time it does happen, you already missed the window of opportunity, right? So being in corporate and being in business, right? I do corporate business at a high level, right? I do sales, right? I've been in sales for over 16 years, right? So I've been there, I've done that. And one thing I've always realized is that you can't miss the window of the opportunity, the window of opportunity. And what does that mean? That means if you have a client or a customer that is interested in something, they're showing interest in your product or interested in your value proposition, I don't have time to be telling them I'll get back to them another day. I can't afford the time to allow another salesperson or another corporation or another company to come in and take that window of opportunity, because now I'm having a risk presented to me. I'm gonna miss out on the sale. I'm going to miss out on my opportunity to feed my family, right? So we need to start curating our life by first understanding that you don't have the time to bullshit. You don't have the time to say you're gonna go to the gym and don't even attempt to go throughout the entire year. Because once you start understanding the opportunity cost, right? When we talk about business and we trying to figure out where to put our money and where should we invest and put our time in, many of the times when I'm talking with clients, it's not so much if I have to sell them the product, I have to present the cost if they do not engage or effectively look at the solution I'm providing, right? So here's a little gem for everybody. If you're trying to persuade, if you're trying to motivate, especially yourself, instead of looking at the immediate things, look at the opportunity cost, right? Look at the health scares. Look at the friends that are being told your blood pressure is too high cholesterol, diabetes, right? Pre-diabetes. The rates is alarming, especially with the type of food that we're consuming. So if we're seeing our great grandparents not living as long as the previous generation. We start seeing our grandparents and our parents start passing away at these alarming rates. At what point do we start considering, what is the cost of me not switching my health? What is the cost of me not making that extra step just to spend a couple of dollars on the health, right? Because we all know when it's time to buy some food and you trying to be healthy, you like, oh God, this is gonna cost me an arm and a leg. Like people start going in debt trying to be healthy. So I don't blame people out there that's trying to be like, look, just give me the Big Mac, just put extra lettuce on it. I get it. I get it. Right? You trying to use your resources, but the reality is, what is the opportunity cost? What is it going to cost you for you to make that switch? Right? So when we have this conversation about time, we got to start figuring out how to strategically analyze and assess all the things that we got going on in our life, right? Whether it's a new relationship, old relationship, right? Whether it's a marriage, whether it's a dating, a dating scene that you got going on, right? When we're looking at business, I'm just going to name them all for your health, right? Spending time with your kids. How much time are you putting into your children? How much time are you putting into yourself, your health, getting your vision, right? When the last time you got your ears checked? I guarantee you 98% of y'all do not set appointments to check your eardrums. Y'all just be putting all types of stuff in the clean and wax out, right? But my point is, there's so many things and windows that we just tend to take for granted because we believe we have the time. It's like it's a very nonchalant, arrogant way we move, thinking, oh, I'll just do it tomorrow. Now, I don't want to confuse this with going on a tangent and creating such an anxiety where you can't function and you're worried. This is not designed to create worry. This conversation is not designed for you to start panicking. The conversation is to provoke action, is to provoke some type of mindset to say, you know what? I said I was going to do it last year. I said I was going to do it the year before. I said I was going to do it the year before that. And here I am saying I should have done it. At what point are you going to change? Remember, JefeTalk, it's a mindset that has to consume your entire way of thinking. This is not about how people see you. It's about how you move when people are not looking. It's about what is the first thing on your mind when you wake up. After you wake up and you pray, you throw some water on your face, you brush your teeth, you take care of all of that. Are you planning out your day? Are you creating a checklist to realize that, wait a minute, I can't stop moving based on what the wind or what the world throws at me? I need to start holding myself accountable to this checklist. So what I've been doing for quite some time now, I'm not the best, my handwriting is not exquisite. Now, mind you, I come from the generation where we had to do cursive, right? None of these kids, I was talking to my son, hey, you know how to do cursive? He's like, Daddy, I don't curse. I'm like, no, bro, I said cursive, right? Like we had to write 2nd and 3rd grade in cursive. But my point is, I started using my notes in my phone, and I'll create a checklist of things I need to accomplish for the day. And my goal is to get between 80 to 95% complete. I give myself a very high goal because if I don't give myself the expectation of full completion or close to full completion and I fall short, I damn near got most of my accomplishments. I damn near got most of my assignments done for that day. So what I empower you to do, and I want to push you to, is start planning out your day by creating a checklist the night before. And I want you to start thinking about those topics we talked about, right? We're talking about the time you're spending with your loved ones, right? How much time are you investing in your health? How much time are you putting towards your goals, your dreams, right? How are you doing in your current job? Are you being the best that you can be? Is there certain trainings or certain things you can do to add to your repertoire of you developing in your career? Right? Fellas, for that lady that you're interested, how much time are you pouring into her? Right? What is the mindset you need to keep engaging in that potential relationship? Right? What are the things she like? Ladies, what are the things he likes? Right? Because windows of opportunity, they come and go. They come and go. It's just, unfortunately, we are the blessed ones that is still here, right? And when I say unfortunately, because at the end of the day, people pass away every day. But unfortunately, we are the ones that are here and we take our time for granted. We do it every day. We can't cap on that. We do it every day. We need to switch that. We need to switch that. Because these are the things that's going to separate the people that are going to take their life into a next stage of opportunity, expansion, right? New growth, whether it's in their finances, whether it's in the status of the relationship with their loved ones, their children, their spouses, whoever. Opportunity is sitting right there. It's just the action needs to take place. Start moving with a purpose. Stop thinking you got all this time to just BS and chill, scroll on Instagram all day, like your favorites, people on Twitter, tweet. I'm like, damn, like as many times people are still tweeting and putting up memes and writing their emotions all over the damn internet, you could have damn near wrote a book already on the life of me ain't doing shit. Like seriously. Where are you dedicating your time the most? And let's not start, sugarcoating the realness of how much time you investing on doing absolutely nothing. People ask, well, how can you measure if you're doing too much of nothing, right? This is all you got to do. This is all you got to do. I want you to take a step back and look at how much you accomplished. If your accomplishment list is not outweighing the bullshit that you do, you are wasting time. It's petty. It's childish. It's a mindset that we got to evolve out of. We so concerned about how we look, right? We so concerned on, well, I don't want to be looked a certain way. It takes time for me to evolve. Meanwhile, the inside is hurting. Because your spirit is trying to evolve the new you. Your spirit is trying to grow, but because of the way you think the world works, you're moving in that operation. You're moving in the way everyone else moves. You're moving at a pace where it's not changing you. You just found a comfortable spot. You're comfortable. You're too damn comfortable. A great gauge for me is whatever is most uncomfortable for me, that's my indication that I need to do it. Now, it's one thing to think this, but the second part of this epiphany is, what is the game plan? What is the action? Right? So, I've been moving at a pace very, very rapidly, working, in business, and I found myself kind of letting go certain things that was really important to me. And I started realizing, wait a minute, I'm putting in all this work to be successful here and evolve here, but I'm hurting myself by not putting the energy in certain things that it's important to me, right? So what I've been doing is learning how to find the balance by creating myself a more efficient schedule, holding myself more accountable to that schedule, and also drawing a line in the sand. This is what a lot of people don't do, right? They'll make the schedule, right? And they're like, hey, I did the schedule. What next, Jefe? I'm on to the next. No. The question is, did you draw a line in the sand? What does that mean? That means, are you easily distracted? Right? Because sometimes we're too distracted to even execute the damn plan. Like, are you telling people no? Right? Are you checking pages and tweets and on Snapchat or whatever it may be, or watching the next latest drama on Netflix, whatever it is? Are you easily distracted? You can't afford it. You can't afford it. You getting old. You getting old. Like, there's no way around it. Like, you are getting old. We all are just getting old by the second. I'm telling you, I just remember yesterday I was in kindergarten eating my favorite peanut butter and jelly sandwich, with lightly toasted. I used to like my peanut butter and jelly, a little lightly toasted. I like that little crunch, pause. Had my little milk, the little milk box with the, not the missing children. Yeah, I didn't get that edition. It was a little red and white box I used to get. I couldn't wait for kindergarten this time. Because my mom, she used to pack my lunch. And when she used to pack my lunch, she'll put like a little note. And she was doing this when I was little, like kindergarten. You're great. Like, just something basic, not where I'm trying to read, like, you're going to be great. I wasn't trying to do all that again. But she put enough for me to identify this as a positive message. But my point is, that was decades ago. I'm getting old. You don't got time to keep BSing, yo. Start making moves that's going to change your life for the better, right? Everything you should be doing, everything you're planning, everything that you should be reflecting on, it needs to be some way attached to the betterment of your future, right? How are you thinking? How are you spending your time? Are you spending your time thinking about the past? Are you spending your time thinking about your last relationship that was trash, and the one before that was trash, and the one before that is trash? Listen, I'm not here to bring up the old and bad news, but the reality is you do that anyway. So I'm trying to figure out, how come you don't see the correlation of reflecting over all the bad decisions and the bullshit that you went with, and it keeps coming back? Because you're investing the time, you're putting the time equity in those bad decisions for it to keep coming back. And you're confused and you're ready to blame everybody but yourself because of how you are utilizing your time. Your time dictates everything. How you spend your time is going to dictate your future. Stop giving yourself a crutch saying God's going to handle it. I believe in just good karma coming my way for all the donations I did at the church, or Lil Johnny needed his shoes tied, so I helped him out. Like, stop trying to find things to justify you ain't doing shit and not working and putting in the sweat equity for your hard work to pay off. I hate when people pick and choose what they want to use biblically, or whether it's, they believe in karma or whatever it is, and they pick and choose what applies to make them feel good for the moment. If you're going to be one way all the way. Make sure you're applying everything. That's like me being a criminal and I'm picking out certain laws that work in my favor to justify me to keep breaking laws. It don't work like that. It doesn't. So what I want you to do moving forward, right? Because I'm all about what is the next steps, right? What are some actionable things we can do to utilize our time more effectively? Number one, create a plan. Create some goals, right? Let's not make this too extreme. Just create 3 goals. 3 goals you want to accomplish by the end of this month, right? The end of the month, okay? And put them in categories, okay? So I want you to do a category of relationships, 3 goals for your relationships in your life, 3 goals for your career and business, right? 3 goals for your health. And for those who are spiritually inclined, 3 goals spiritually. And I want you to put each goal and its importance in order, right? The highest importance go first, second, and third. This is going to take you literally 10 minutes to do. 10 minutes. Do not make this an essay. Don't send me a DM like, yo, bro, I'm on number 2. How do I connect it? Like, it's not that deep. Just give me 3 goals per subject. Okay? Then I want you to give yourself a deadline of when you're going to accomplish this. Put some dates with some actual times. I don't care if you put Saturday by 6 p.m. I'm going to make sure I burn 2,000 calories before Saturday, right? I'm going to make sure that I walk for an additional, 30 minutes on Tuesdays and Thursdays before the end of the week, right? Just hold yourself to a deadline, okay? Now, for those that have problem following the goal and the schedule, what's the next step? Create an alarm on your phone to remind you. We got all this technology and you still struggling how to remind yourself. The biggest excuse I hear with people, I forgot. Damn, bro. Damn, that's right. I was put an alarm on your phone. We got an alarm for everything else. We got alarms for everything else, right? We get notifications when the new kicks drop, right? New music come out. We got alarms when the shade room come out, like a new story to talk about, right? But we don't have nothing to hold ourselves accountable for the betterment of our lives. So make sure you are setting an alarm clock. All right, so we got our goals, right? Your top 3 and your different categories, right? I said health, relationships, career, and your spiritual side, right? 3 topics. I'm sorry, three goals. And then what we're going to do at the end of the month, we are going to set a percentage of how much completion we want done. Okay, you can set that at 100%, but the key is do not go lower than 80%. Because I already know some of y'all. Some of y'all gonna put 35% completion. Like, yeah, I got 2 out of 70 right. Like, nah, I need 80% or better. Because the key is throughout the year, you want to start being able to knock out the goals that you set at 100% rate. And how are you going to do that? From the things we talked about today, right? Drawing a line in the sand, right? Being able to say no, being able to stop reflecting over bullshit, being able to start making sure every move and step and thought that you have is designed to put you in a better situation. You got to start training your mind. You got to start erasing the past. Right, I saw a really, really, really dope quote yesterday. The quote said, "There's a reason why the windshield is bigger than the rear view mirror, because that's where your focus should be. You don't got time to keep looking in the rear view mirror and seeing what happened, what took place, why this went wrong, making conclusions of this. At the end of the day, you made a dumbass decision, or whatever happened to you. Cool. You're still breathing. You're still here. Make the next steps to make that change for the betterment of your future." So I am ecstatic for everybody that's going to accomplish this. I already know I'm going to have some champions, some winners, because I'm a big believer, right? I know if people put their mind to something and they put their heart into something, it's going to happen. I'm not going to lie, it's going to be a few of y'all that's going to just continue to do what y'all want to do. Right? They're going to continue to do the same BS, same way of thinking you know it all, saying God's got me. God had you 10 years ago. He had you 20 years ago. You know what I'm saying? You already been in his hands So here's the thing. He's not changing. You the one who need to change. You the one has to make those certain steps and tweaks in your life for you to evolve so he can have you even more. But stop expecting him to change your bad habits when you don't even have the effort to do so. So, yo, it has been a blessing being able to talk to y'all. I know it's been a minute. I'm going to do better. Listen, this podcast has been dope for me to get stuff off my chest. People I can't talk directly to about certain things that they do because I'm not trying to hear their mouth. I don't got the time for it. I got money to make. I got things to do. So this podcast has been a huge, huge blessing for me because I get to talk to people that believe in me, talk to people that subscribe, and make sure y'all like and hit the subscribe, which I say smash the subscribe button below for my listeners on the podcast. I appreciate y'all tuning in, and I will see you guys next time. I'm out.